This is Lama Tantrapa. Welcome to the Secrets of Qigong Masters, the talk show brought to you by Academy of Qidao, the first and only school in the world offering professional education in Qigong coaching and Tai Chi coaching. To find out about the benefits of being Tai Chi coach and Qigong coach, and to learn how you too can become a certified Qigong or Tai Chi professional, please go to qigongcoaching.com. This show is also brought to you by Mastery Magazine, sponsoring the episodes with the Masters of the Month that you can enjoy at qigongmasters.com. Today, I'm delighted to introduce to you Jessica Kolbe, who is known for her imagery, imagination, and visualizations that she uses when teaching Qigong and Tai Chi classes and private sessions. She is known for sharing her lighthearted approach to Qigong on her award-winning TV show, Qigong with Jessica Kolbe, which airs in Santa Barbara, California, 6 times a week, as well as available on the internet. Thank you so much, Jessica, for joining us today.
Oh, Lama, I'm so delighted to be here. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be on your show. You've interviewed everyone who is anyone, and I'm so honored and humble. Thank you.
Thank you again. And I would like to start our discussion today with a simple question about your background. What inspired you to become a Qigong teacher and professional?
I started practicing Tai Chi in 1998, and it gave me such peace of mind. I was working in a pretty stressful job, and I liked how I felt, and the more I did it, the more healing that I received. And unbeknownst to me, I didn't know that I would receive emotional healing in my body. I just thought it would lower my stress level. But over the years, I was able to let go of anger issues and fear issues, anxiety. And it was about in 2009, I picked up the phone and called up the Institute of Untitled Qigong and Tai Chi. Roger Yonka answered the phone, and I didn't even know who he was. And I said I wanted to become a Qigong and Tai Chi teacher. And he said, "You've come to the right place." And so that began my journey. My intention was to share all the healing benefits with others. And that if I could heal, others could heal too.
Fantastic. So you decided to become a Qigong teacher and professional because you wanted to share the benefits that you yourself received from these arts, right?
Yes.
And how did you get involved in these energy arts yourself?
I've been dancing a long time. I've done yoga, and it was during a yoga class where we were in a dark room and there was a mirror, and I was looking at myself, looking at my alignment, and I noticed what appeared to be an aura around my body. And I started to move my head, and sure enough, this aura was moving. And then I looked around the class and saw I could see auras, and that blew my mind. I didn't know I could see auras. So that made energy very real for me. And from there, the Qigong is moving energy in and out of the body. And whether it's emotional energy or physical energy, spiritual thoughts, everything. And I thought this needs to be more well known in the world. And I had been a teacher for many years. I taught windsurfing for over 20 years, so I was very comfortable describing my experiences and my knowledge of body awareness to others. So it's very easy for me to teach others.
Right. And so when you started the practice of these arts, did you experience benefits immediately, or did it take some time, and did it take some patience to enjoy the benefits of these practices?
I got the benefits right away. I think one of the first exercises I did with my very first teacher, Ed Rocket, was an exercise called Big Bear Swimming. And I felt like the bear, and I could release fear because bears are powerful and have no natural predators. And it tickled my imagination, Lama. And then he loves animal frolics. And then we were doing white cranes, spreads its wings. I drank the Kool-Aid, really, my very first Qigong class. And it made me go and find other teachers and explore and learn as much as I can really, really quickly.
Fantastic. So if you could assess this timeline from the point when you just got introduced to the energy arts till the present time. Overall, how did the practice of Qigong change your life?
Oh my. Well, number one, I had anger issues from childhood trauma. And it gave me the tools to release the anger. I didn't know how. People would say, you need to get over that. Are you still there? I mean, you really need to evolve. But I didn't know how. And I would meditate. But with Qigong and the breath work, it very simply blow the anger out. And and then with movements, push the anger away, bring in kindness and forgiveness, fill your liver, fill your heart. And so that was the very first big healing that I had with Qigong. Physically, my knees have gotten better. I would also say I probably had the most healing emotionally. I used to be very anxious and fearful. I would call myself a worrywart. And, after a certain point, I stopped worrying about the bank account. I stopped worrying about if my husband was late, is he dead on the side of the road? Or, I just let it go. It just dissipated. And what a relief. When people can finally let go of their fear, most fear is unfounded. It's, usually what is in the future, what may or may not be. And to spend time in the present worrying about what may or may not be, it's such a tremendous waste of energy. So I think one day I just realized I don't have that fear anymore. I don't have that anxiety. And then another day I woke up and I thought, I'm going to be content with everything in my life. It doesn't have to be the best, perfect, anything. And I would say that day also changed my life, that decision to be content with how things are.
So the contentment with the way things are doesn't mean that you don't have any dreams. Doesn't mean that you don't have any aspirations. It just simply, it means that you're grounded at what is. You're not struggling against the present state of affairs. And then you can actually move towards whatever else you would like to manifest in your life without wasting energy on the struggle.
Truly. And I think it goes back to the liver energy, the envy. My house isn't as big, or my bank account isn't as big. And again, I believe what I needed to heal in this lifetime was, the element of wood, of anger, resentment, and move on. And, amen. That's all I can say. Thank goodness for Qigong, because it really helped me. And then Tai Chi has given me grace and balance. Moving through life in a flow. And when you're in the flow, things just happen. I had no idea I would have a television show. I sat next to a woman who worked for TVSB, and she said, well, you should have a show. And, the doors just open when I think for me, when I do Qigong, I'm more connected with everything, and I think the doors open, and things are effortless.
Well, in a sense, the whole practice of Qigong, from my point of view at least, is the art of being in a flow. We learn how to feel the flow of Qi and how to stop struggling against the flow, but rather experience that enjoyment of the flow if we go with it. Now, different people have different attitudes towards Qigong and towards how they handle that idea of the flow. What do you do to experience flow yourself? And how do you help your students perhaps experience the same?
Well, I slow things down a lot. And, many times we'll just start by lifting the arms up with the inhale and relaxing the hands down. And connecting with the earth energy, the heaven energy, the energy of Mother Nature. And I don't want to say dissolving into nothing, because that's not right, but becoming part of the scenery. The breath work, as you know, is so key. Letting go with the exhalation, inviting in with the inhalation. Consistency, not, having the students know some of the exercises, and then it's familiar for them. And so as they begin to learn them, they can relax into the exercises and go more deeply into the exercises and begin to explore. I always encourage people to be self-observant is a key foundation of Qigong, to observe our thoughts, observe our sensations. In our society, we are all up in our minds, or else we're in our phones or computers. But it's so fascinating. Our minds are fascinated by all the stimulation. But when we bring the essence back to our breath, the sensations inside of our body, that calms our nervous system, and that brings us more into who we are, and we want to live our authentic selves. What a tremendous amount of energy it takes to pretend to be someone else. Or, I don't. I'm a human being, flawed, and I embrace my flaws, and if I make mistakes, I don't worry about it, especially in my classes. I just go laugh and go on to the next thing. But I do like to give people an experience where at the end of the class, they can take a big, deep breath, and they don't even move. They just kind of are there in their own experience. And to me, that's success.
Wonderful. Well, and I also noticed when you were demonstrating this movement of the hands together with the breath, you were doing it in a way similar to the opening moves in Tai Chi forms. So the palms face downwards, and the back of the hand faced up or forward. And when you were talking about letting go and relaxing into your true nature, I noticed that you were making gestures with the palm upwards, which is actually the anatomically correct alignment of the arms, isn't it? If you look at the chart of the human body, the palms are forward, because that's the back of the hand, right? So if you turn your back of the hand forward, that means you're wearing your hands backwards. And the reason I'm asking about this is because I wonder if you've ever tried to actually do the same breathing with lifting your hands and bringing them down, palms up and forward instead of backwards.
Absolutely. I learned this up and down as pulling silk out of the cocoon. So we imagine, the threads of silk that are connected to the earth, and I imagine them drawing up through my body, bringing those vitamins and minerals through my body, and then releasing downwards. Now, when we do the palms upwards, I learned this as flowing motion, where we gather energy up, and then we pull energy back and through the tissues of our body, beyond the body. Pull old energy out of the body, release it up to the heavens, reach for heaven energy, and then grab that heaven and nature energy and bathe every cell of our body. So I think, every movement has an intention to it, and that's what makes Qigong different than everything else. The intention with every movement.
Right, and also not only intention, but attention to how the movements work and whether or not there are any variations on the theme, because when there is a just simple variation, for example, the direction of the palms this way or that way, you can compare and see that one works perhaps better than the other. And of course, it may also work differently for different people. So then you can see, this is something that works better, even though the form or the particular teacher introduced it this way. But actually what I feel more resonant with is that way. Then you can also become more authentic in your practice and reap greater benefits. And perhaps also tomorrow your energy will be different, so perhaps it may work differently tomorrow, which of course will be an invitation to practice authenticity again, pretty much every day.
We all strive to be, at least I do.
Right. Well, and that's one of my pet peeves with Qigong and Tai Chi, that a lot of people do forms and get so enamored with doing forms that they actually forget about the essence of the arts, which is feeling energy flow and actually being in the flow. Because you can't really be in the flow if you're paying attention to something else other than the flow. Because by definition, the focus means paying attention to one thing at a time. So if you're paying attention to the form, you're not paying attention to the essence. Now, I know that you've studied a variety of different forms, like animal frolics and Tai Chi Easy and medical Qigong and emotional healing and other things. How would you compare them side by side, if you will?
Well, the animal frolics were considered the first form of medical Qigong. Dr. Tola in the 2nd century was a traveling doctor and would go from village to village, and on his wanderings would notice the animals, how they moved, their traits, and even get a sense of the spirit of the animal. You know, the crane, for example, you know, is lighthearted and off the ground, not a very grounded animal. Versus the bear, which is very grounded and fearless. The tiger, you know, moved with caution and focus. And so, as I mentioned, from my very first class, I was taught animal frolics, but I didn't know what to call them. And then as I did some research, I found Kenneth Cohen and contacted him and told him I wanted to learn his animal frolics. And then I studied with Master Bing from China, an animal frolics specialist, and I just became enamored with the animals. And what you mentioned a little earlier about being in the flow, when I practice Qigong, in my spare time, I'll go for a walk on the beach. I'm very lucky. I live in a little beach town in California, and I spend a lot of time on the beach. I teach on the beach. But I'll go for a walk, and I'll have an inspiration come into my mind, and all of a sudden, I'll know how to do an animal. So it's not, I do the classic animals and animals that I've studied, but I also create animal frolics. One time, I was teaching in a park, and this wonderful tortoise, we were teaching, and I had a class in a circle, and this turtle made his way slowly right through the center of our circle. And it popped in my head, a turtle frolic. And I loved this. That was the very first animal frolic that came to me. And it's a wonderful exercise for the neck and shoulders to reduce stress. And I'm happy to show it to you if you'd like to see it.
Please.
You can do it seated or standing. And so we start by lengthening the spine. So you would want to sit up in your chair, wiggle about a little bit, tuck your chin. And remember, the turtle has a shell on its back, which it can withdraw into. You know, sometimes we all need to withdraw. And the turtle also has tremendous stamina and endurance. It doesn't have to be the first across the finish line, but it will finish. So we bring in that slow and steady energy. And the turtle also has the energy of longevity. They live a long time. So I always like to embrace the energy of the animal we're doing. And so this particular turtle, and we can embrace the energy, as we were going to do it, I would embrace the energy of longevity, and I would guide my hands into my lower dantian, so into the place right beneath the navel. And then I would gather the energy of giving myself permission to withdraw and go inside and dream and meditate. And I would reach out one more time. Slow and steady. Don't have to be the first, but I want to finish things. And then I bring the energy up from the lower dantian, and I wash my heart with the turtle energy. And then I wash my mind with the turtle energy. And then the palms face outwards. Relax your shoulders. Relax the elbows. And this is the turtle withdrawing into the shell. So we pull our shoulders way up to the ears. And let's make a fist and draw the fist into the chest. And activate your ab muscles as if you were pulling your legs in. So there's a squeeze. And you hold it and then release. And the hands face outwards, and you take a deep breath. And you relax the elbows down. And you pull the shoulders down. And then inhale, draw the shoulders up. Exhale, pull in tight. Now this has an extra benefit because when we squeeze our muscles like this and hold, it pumps our lymphatic system. So we're really activating our lymph. And then inhale again, relax, float the shoulders down. Elbows are heavy. Now you can drop the chin to the chest to get a nice neck lengthening. And then you can lift your chin to the sky and push your chin out so it stretches the throat. Turtle looking at the moon. And you can look down at your heart again. And then tip the eyes to look at your right shoulder. And so you get a nice stretch on the one side of the neck. Bring the chin through the center and then look at your left shoulder. Bring it up again. Lift the chin. Let's lift our shoulders way up. We'll go into the shell one last time. Pull in and down. Squeeze everything. Pull up on your perineum, the pelvic floor. Engage your sacral and sphincter muscles. And then relax and release. Palms face outwards. Relax your shoulders. And then imagine your fingers and your hands are on top of your own shoulders. Take a deep breath. And as if you were touching your shoulders and your back, draw the energy down. So in your imagination, you're pulling out the stress and tension. And then we brush it off our hands. So that was the first animal that came to me. It showed me. Since then, butterfly, caterpillar to butterflies have come in, dolphin, different phoenix exercises. It's really been wonderful, which animals have decided to share their intelligence with me and their spirit and their movements.
Fantastic. It seems like a very shamanic approach to Qigong.
Yes.
Rather than trying to learn from a particular human, you actually learn from different spirit animals or totem animals or tortoise that walks into a circle. It tickles me that someone had to create the original animals and the subsequent animals. And early on, I had a teacher who gave me permission to explore and create. Right.
And I'm not a perfectionist. I take an integral approach. I take whatever I know and incorporate it. And so I'm not a very strict teacher. In my class, if we're all doing something like this and someone's going like this, but they look blissed out, I'm psyched. I'd much rather see someone happy and swaying as if they were a piece of kelp in the ocean than someone concentrating, trying to get it, and beating themselves up. So I'm not the type of teacher who's going to make corrections unless I am certifying future teachers. And then I do, they have to be able to do it a way, and then when they leave me, they can do whatever they want. But I like to see them doing it a certain way.
Why so?
For consistency. I'm one of Roger Yonka's senior teachers, and he has a method. And his method also gives us a lot of permission to explore and go elsewhere. But with certain things like Tai Chi Easy, it's a formula. It's kind of like Tai Chi Chuan. If you go to a Tai Chi Chuan class, you expect to do the form a certain way. So if people go to a Tai Chi Easy, what's that?
Depending on the school, there's going to be a different style of Tai Chi, of course. So what's Tai Chi Easy? What kind of practice? Yeah, what kind of practice do you experience there when you do it?
Well, Tai Chi Easy is a fusion of Qigong and Tai Chi. And you start off with vitality methods. So there's self-applied massage, there's breath work, a little bit of intentional stretching, and a little bit of meditation. And Tai Chi Easy contains a very simple 5-movement form. It's only 5 movements, and so most people in this day and age maybe don't want to spend 2 years learning a 108 movement form, or for that matter, even a 48 movement form. And 5 movement seems to attract a lot of people. Like, okay, I can learn this and do it by myself in the park or on the beach. So it's a very accessible form of Tai Chi, and it's a method. And it can be done seated.
Oh boy. Okay. And so what does it look like if you do those 5 moves?
I'm going to stand up because I think that will be easier.
Right. Well.
And you can do this form. And this is Dr. Roger Yonka's form. Uh-huh. And so there's an opening, like most Tai Chi. And we create our Tai Chi ball, which is the yin-yang symbol. And then we bring it to one hip, and this is the first movement. Roger Yonka calls it harmonizing yin and yang.
Kind of similar to pairing the horse's mane.
Exactly. He's changed the names to make them more accessible and a little more understandable. So if I had too much anger in this movement, I would release the anger. I would let it go. And I would gather kindness and forgiveness. So here we are working emotions, and the intention. I'm letting go of fear. And you do the movements, repetitive. You don't just do one. Like maybe we'll do one more on each side. If I let go of fear, I'm going to gather trust and confidence. Let go of confusion. And bring in clarity. And the second movement, we roll the ball, the Tai Chi symbol over, drop the ball, go into brush knee sen chi, which is pretty much any Tai Chi form you ever will see has this movement.
Yeah, and it's always fascinating to me how names of different moves in Tai Chi forms are almost intentionally misguiding, because the primary movement in this particular maneuver is not the brushing of the knee, it's actually the forward push.
And or how I like to look at it is that protecting your groin. If someone's going to kick you, you want to be able to block. And as we know, this comes from Kung Fu. So, this is a block.
You don't want to use your arm against the kick, because the leg is always stronger than the arm. So
but if you see the leg coming, you can brush it away.
Yeah, unless the person who kicks knows what he's doing.
Hopefully I'm not get someone like that. And you can clear your mind. Get the monkeys out of your brain. Clear the mind. It's just intention. The third movement of Tai Chi Easy is repel monkey, or how
you get rid of the monkeys.
Repel monkey, or he calls this cut through to clarity. And you can reach into your past, gather all of your knowledge, and bring it into the future. It's blending the future, which we don't know, but the past we do, and we can bring in all of our resources so they're useful. And let's do all of these movements incorporate the Tai Chi principles: expansion, contraction, rising and sinking.
So, for example, one arm is performing the yin movement, the other one is performing the yang movement, right?
Exactly.
So which one is yin and which one is yang?
I think whatever you decide that day.
Well, according to Chinese medicine, there is a certain distinction between the directions. So, for example, upwards is yang, downwards is yin, right?
Yes.
So forward is yin and backwards is yang.
Yeah.
So the arm that goes backwards is actually performing the yang movement, as opposed to the front hand is performing the yin movement, correct?
I have never thought about it like that. And Lama, I'm so excited because you've just given me a whole new breadth of cosmology to think about. So thank you. And I'm so excited. I can't wait to think about it and really work that into it.
Well, as you mentioned, we're working with Qi ball. And at the same time, it also kind of represents this Tai Chi symbol with the yin and yang aspects of energy. And when we perform movement with one side or with one hand, that is going to be more yang and the other one is going to be more yin. And of course, it depends on the directionality of our movements or energy projections. And of course, it also depends on how we're moving the body. So if we're just standing still, it's one thing. But if we're moving in 3D space, so center of mass is actually moving forward or moving backwards or up and down or in and out, that basically creates an effect, making one movement more primary and the other one more secondary. And so that basically creates this whole new understanding and appreciation of these movements that perhaps Roger hasn't discovered yet, but it has a profundity of integrating into our bodies and in our movements philosophical principles, so we don't just talk about them, we actually walk the talk.
And I think the mind, as we do the Tai Chi, we're supposed to empty the mind, but also with the intention of bringing more energy in and expanding your consciousness, expanding your heart, and then pulling it and compacting it and making it dense. And I just love that whole idea. The fourth movement in that particular form is head-like clouds, and which we all know.
Cloud hands.
Just love, cloud hands, hands like cloud. I've had different teachers call them different names, which is very relaxing, very meditative. And it's like clouds passing by. And I think as human beings, we don't allow ourselves enough time to really look at the clouds, create images, create stories. When we are looking at the clouds, our body goes into that parasympathetic nervous system of rest, relax, and heal. And we're such busy humans, we become human doings instead of human beings. And when we do movements like cloud hands, it puts us into that healing and peacefulness that conserves our energy and allows our imagination to dream and create. And we are creative beings. Our heart, in this day and age, the heart is so busy keeping up with technology and keeping up with our friends and family and work that we don't allow ourselves to daydream. And so when we do hands like clouds, it's a time to let it go. If you want to do whiskey clouds, I don't have a problem with people making different kinds of clouds when they do cloud hands. And to finish the Tai Chi Easy, the last movement is gathering energy from heaven and earth, which is very simply, reaching deep into the earth and pulling up that Mother Earth energy, and then reaching out to nature's remedies like healing herbs and teas, reaching up to heaven, bringing down trillions of stars to fill your cells with fresh energy. And reaching deep into the earth, we can pull pure water and flush our bodies of toxins. And reaching up to the sky, bringing the sun and the moon, yin and yang, compassion, usefulness into our bodies. So, again, every movement has intention. And then, with this form, you can repeat it as many times as you want. And it's very much of self-care and self-healing. We're bathing ourselves with fresh energy and storing that energy in the cell for later, when we really need it.
And that's very interesting. So there are different approaches to the flow of qi among different practitioners of energy arts. And some people, especially in Reiki and some styles of Qigong, consider that the flow of qi, the energy of the universe, is constantly in flux, and our job is not to gather it and to accumulate it, but rather to avail ourselves to it and allow it to flow freely through us. So basically increasing the put-through of energy through our channels rather than accumulating it, because essentially it often leads to stagnation, or basically we're creating a dam in the flow in order to hold on to it. On the other hand, some people, like you just mentioned, advocate accumulation or storage of qi in the dantians, for example. Which side of this approach do you resonate with?
Oh, I like both approaches. And, the storing is good, especially for seniors who don't have as much energy as they used to. People who are fighting illness, they really need a little bit more energy. But I also love, what you just said, because, yes, we are conduits. And when we gather the yang energy from heaven, we're encouraging that energy to pass through our body and giving it back to the earth. And then when we gather from the earth, we're pulling up that yin energy, bathing every cell, and releasing it. So for me, I think it's whatever my intention is for that day or what the needs of my students are. And that's one of the beautiful aspects of Qigong, is it can be whatever you want it to be. Whatever it is you need, or whatever it is you need to get rid of. We put our minds to work, and they are so happy to have a job. It's like, okay, I'm getting rid of this old energy. And, I'm bathing myself with fresh energy. And our minds are very happy doing that.
Okay, great. So in other words, we give the monkeys in the monkey mind a little bit of a job to do, and they get so engrossed in that process that they forget to interfere with our energy practice.
I like that.
Now, when you practice medical Qigong, obviously it's particularly pertinent to adjust the practice or the application according to the needs of each particular individual or client or patient.
Yes.
Can you share with us a little bit about your medical Qigong studies and practice?
For me, all Qigong is medical because I think it's very healing. So I want to say that first and foremost. I have different clients with different ailments, and what I do is very shamanic with my private clients. Very similar to Reiki. I have different tools I use. I have a Tibetan singing bowl, and I often put the bowl right onto their body and use the resonance and the vibration to get right into their cells. There's, marrow washing, which is a simple action of bathing the marrow, or again, using that mind. Imagine bathing the bones and letting that energy go into the marrow. I consider that medical Qigong. Tendon changing, I also consider medical Qigong when we do any exercises that are going to be helpful for our bodies. I really like acupressure massage, stimulating different acupressure points on our body. I have not been sick for over 10 winters now, and I felt I was going to get sick on Tuesday, but my protocol is there's certain acupressure points that I stimulate on my body, different meridian points. The second thing I do is I squeeze and release, and that pumps our lymphatic system, and so fresh energy into the cells, pull out the old stagnant energy. And then I also do lymphatic drainage massage, which the lymph lives right underneath the skin. So if you touch very gently, then you can move the lymph away from the lymph glands and stimulate the lymph to move 10 times faster than it normally would by touching your neck, your throat, armpits, underneath the chest, back of the knees, the groin area. Just very gentle massage. So I consider all of that medical Qigong.
Wonderful. And I also heard about your work with corporate clients and retreats. How did you come up with that? And how do corporations find your Qigong practice valuable?
Well, I'm going to answer the second question first. I have a very good website, and I've paid a lot of money for it, and so search engines and corporation HR people are looking for different kinds of practitioners to come in, whether it's a yoga practitioner, an inspirational speaker, I will come up. And that's been great. I think part of getting the corporate gigs is being very lucky. And I've gotten a few of my corporate gigs because students of mine, their husbands have been presidents or CEOs of corporations, and they suggest me. So I think luck has a big part of it. My website also has a big part of it. That's how people find me.
What is the value that they derive from your corporate retreats?
First of all, corporations are pretty stressful places to work, I think, in general. And there's a lot of pressure to perform. And I'll go in for maybe an hour and a half, and we'll do some stress relieving exercises, and we'll massage our necks, and we'll massage our hands, and do just some basic stretching. I show them exercises they can do at their desk. Then we all do exercises together, and I end with meditation. And again, a lot of intention, a lot of visualization. And it's so funny because when I do start, everybody's kind of busy and looking around at each other. By the end of the hour and a half, everyone is kind of relaxed and happy and come up and talk to me, and it's like their barriers are down. And so there's been several corporations I do, twice a year. I come in when their head honchos come in, and I'm kind of the entertainment, but at the same time, I give them tools and techniques so they can focus better and perform better at their jobs, which really is what the people who hire me, that's what they want as well.
Well, I would hope so.
It's nice to be relaxed, but I think they do want to bring the focus in.
Right, and probably it increases people's productivity and creativity, and if they're not as stressed out, perhaps they communicate better with each other or with clients. And all in all, it makes the workplace a more pleasant place to be at. So
and it makes them feel more connected. And when they feel more connected, they will work together more readily and more easily without that feeling of competition. So that's important.
Right. So it improves corporate culture, probably makes leaders better leaders, less authoritarian, and making everyone feel stressed out. If
you can get corporate gigs, go for it. They're very lucrative. They buy my DVDs. They usually give everybody who participates. And usually the groups are 40 to 60 people. And so, yeah, very lovely financially for me to do that.
Well, that's certainly something that I would love to continue talking with you. But there is another aspect of your work that is also similar to mine. You have been producing or used to produce a Qigong TV show.
Okay.
Well, obviously, you have much to share with people without TV show, but can you share with us a little bit about that show and how you started and what happened to it?
Well, it's funny because my husband used to have a television show. He's a yogi, and he had a show called Yoga Santa Barbara Style, which it started because I wanted a TV show. But one of us had to go in and learn how to work in a TV station. Learn how to use the editing equipment, learn how to use the TriCaster, lighting, sound, work in the studio. And I was too busy, and we're partners in this endeavor. And by the time he'd gone through the training, I didn't have the time. I was just too busy to think about a TV show. So he created a TV show, and that lasted several years. And then he got busy, and that dropped off. I don't remember what happened, but I think he had to go into different areas of work. And one day I was sitting next to a woman at a networking breakfast, and she was new at the television station, our local access public TV, TVSB. And she said, Jessica, we'd love to have you do a show. And I said, this was on the back burner. This has been on the back burner for about 3 years now. And so we started to do the TV show. And that has been great because my intention is to share these healing exercises with as many people as possible. And many people are housebound, or they can't afford to come to a class, or they don't have transportation. And so this allowed me to get to many, many more people. I did not intend to become a television personality or star, and my TV show is an hour-long class. We start to finish, we're doing Qigong. So that's been great, and I really didn't know how popular we were, but the first year we did it, I won an award for creating media, or producing media that matters to our community. Nice. And then last year, I got the Community Choice Award. So people from the community voted. And there's something like, 90-something shows that are produced there. They're on every week. And we won. So people like the show. And it's really interesting to be out in public. And people will come up to me and be like, oh, I love your show. Thank you. I do it with my mom, or my whole family gets together. And people call me up and tell me they like the show. So I didn't expect that. My mission was to just share Qigong and Tai Chi with people, and I had no idea that we would ever win an award. And it's nice. It's nice to say I won an award. But really importantly, it's what am I going to do the next show?
Do you continue producing the show now?
Yeah, we're in our third year. We make a show once a month. And it airs 6 times a week on our local TV. You can download it from the TVSB, and you can also, we're on Vimeo also.
And where would our viewers be able to find your TV show?
Well, you could go to Google Television Santa Barbara. That would be easy. Okay. If you wanted to stream it. Unless you're living in this area, you won't get it on your local television. You could also go to my website, and you can also go to Vimeo, and also YouTube. And you just Google my name, Jessica Kolbe.
What would you say about the influence of having the TV show on your practice or on your classes? Did it have any kind of influence in terms of bringing more people into your classes or into your private practice or not?
Yes. And the answer to those questions are yes to both. Yes, it does bring more people into my classes, and it does create a private practice for me as well. Mm-hmm. And I also get some weird phone calls every now and then, and I think that just comes to me by being a public person, And so, but I would say 99% is, people interested in doing what I'm doing, and how do I get peaceful? I get the comment, you appear so peaceful and calm. Will I get those same results? I'm like, absolutely. But you have to take the time to do the exercises. You have to slow down. You can't, be interrupted and be ADD. You just, give yourself the benefit of at least 20 minutes to slow down. Or at the minimum, 3 breaths. 3 deep breaths will put you into a more calm state.
I remember watching an interview with Solala Towler that you recorded as well. How did you get to know him, and what happened as a result of knowing him?
Well, I think one of the best things I've done in my Qigong career is that I was Dr. Rajayanka's assistant for 2 years. And he and Solala are old friends. So I got to know Solala because we were planning a trip to China, and Roger asked me to call up Solala. I was like, oh, what do you think, Solala? He was just there last year. What did he? They share a lot of information. And so I got to know him over the phone at first. And then I presented at a National Qigong Association conference, and I met him. And so I introduced myself. I said, we've talked on the phone a lot, and here we are. And we hit it off immediately. I can't imagine anyone not hitting it off with Solala. He's very easygoing, likable, and approachable. Right. And we kept running into each other at different Qigong events. And I love his magazine, The Empty Vessel. And I think it was about 2 years ago, we thought about collaborating. And so last year, I brought him to the Santa Barbara area to do primordial Qigong, a beautiful form that I knew already, but I always like to see different takes, because everybody has different insights and imagery. And he also did some tea ceremony and I Ching readings. And while he was here, this was last May, 2016, while he was here, we started talking about our love for China. And I've only been once, he's been 8 or 9 times. And he said, let's do a trip together. And I said, okay. And that was it. So we're doing a trip this coming May.
So this is going to be your first trip that you're organizing to China?
Well, I went to China in 2013 with Dr. Rajayanka and a group of his graduates. And I was his assistant at the time, so I learned a lot and planned a lot for him. But with this trip, Solala, things were already in place. And so what I brought in was a lot of people. So people that have been following me, a lot of my students, and so that and we build this as kind of a spiritual journey, studying with this wonderful master in the Wudong Mountains for 9 days. Solala will be giving talks every night about Taoism, and it's not your average trip to China. We're not going to Xi'an. We're basically studying Qigong and Tai Chi in the Wudong Mountains, which is like a national park. We will be spending time in Hangzhou, which is a lovely garden city. I think there's 73 trees for every person. And that's also a big center for the tea industry. So we'll be drinking a lot of tea and tasting teas.
Sounds good.
Studying Buddhism and Taoism and visiting a lot of temples. But then we're going to you can't go to China without going to the Great Wall. You have, so we're going to go to Beijing and do a couple of Great Wall and the Forbidden City. That's kind of fun. I like it. I liked it last time.
So if I ask you, what would you be looking forward to the most in this particular trip to China?
Studying with Master Zhou again. He's a fantastic teacher. He's very quiet and calm. Our group is about 20. We've had a couple of people just drop out, so there are a few places left. But we'll be studying up at his school, which is in the forest and the mountains of China. And it's very peaceful and relaxing. Everything is taken care of. I know some people are really looking forward to the food, which I am also. But it's the study, being in the temples, the quietness of Taoism, the appreciation of nature. I'm really looking forward to that and deepening my own Qigong and Tai Chi practice. It's wonderful to be a teacher, but it's a whole different thing when I get to be a student again.
Well, and of course, for our viewers and listeners who may be interested in joining you and Solala Towler on this trip to China, we created a webpage where you can register for this trip.
Yes.
Just simply go to qigongcoaching.com/China trip in one word.
You've got it on your website.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, Lana.
You are welcome. And of course, that will lead them to your website, and they'll be able to register and enjoy this wonderful opportunity to get exposed to some of the treasures of Chinese culture and spirituality and learn some Qigong and just have a great experience with like-minded people. Now, to wrap up our interview today, let me ask you my favorite question. What is your secret? The name of our show is The Secrets of Qigong Masters. So what would you say is your signature secret, so to speak, that you would be willing to share with us that makes you so successful and so effective as a teacher?
I've lost all self-consciousness. I don't care what I look like. I try to open up and be the vessel. Honestly, often when I'm teaching, I don't know where the words come from. I hear them coming out of my mouth, and I'm like, wow, where did that come from? And for movements that I've done for almost 20 years, new insights come in, new information. So I think I'm just a kind of a vessel that is ready. The animals come in. Where does that come from? I don't know where they come from. And it's not like I think about them. Once they come in a little bit, then I do develop them. But I think just being open, connecting, and making myself available to the energy that's all around us is very important, for me at least. Not being in a hurry, giving myself permission to, I don't have to learn things very quickly, I don't have to be the first to do something. Just kind of going at my speed and being myself. If I try to be someone else, it bites me also. It'll bite me. It'll come back to me. So if I try to pretend I'm anyone else or that I have more skill or more knowledge, that doesn't work for me. So I just try to be myself, and I would to add to that, observation. Constantly self-observation, paying attention to what comes in, what my sensations are, what images are coming in, paying attention and not just discounting them.
So it's interesting, there's a juxtaposition of self-consciousness that you lost, but self-awareness that you gained.
Yes, I like that.
Great. Well, and if I ask you to share any final words of wisdom, so to speak, with our viewers and listeners, what would those be?
Love and accept yourself. If we beat ourselves up, if we're constantly critical of ourselves, thinking that, I might be too old to do something, I might not have the right body, I might not look like a Chinese person. If I have those kind of criticisms, I'm only hurting myself. So if I get out of my way and accept what comes in, and love myself who I am, that will change your life, as it has mine.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Jessica, for spending your time and sharing with us your wisdom and knowledge. I want to remind our listeners and viewers that you have just enjoyed an interview with Jessica Kolbe on the talk show The Secrets of Qigong Masters, brought to you by Academy of Qidao, the first and only school in the world offering professional education in Tai Chi and Qigong coaching. To learn what Qigong coaching and Tai Chi coaching are all about, please go to qigongcoaching.com. The show is also brought to you by Mastery Magazine, bringing to you some of the top experts in Qigong and Tai Chi in North America. And to enjoy watching the interviews with Qigong Masters, please go to qigongmasters.com. Thank you so much, Jessica. Once again, it's been such a pleasure.
You are a treasure, Lama. Thank you so much for having me.